Medyo nakabalakot siya. Hindi naman siya Leaning Tower of Pisa. So, I'm gonna show you how you can color grade in Lightroom Mobile so your photos can transform from this to this. And we're starting right now. Game. If you do a lot of color grading in Adobe Lightroom, Adobe Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, then the color wheel will be your best friend. The color wheel is a circular arrangement of colors, and they're organized by their chromatic relationship with each other. So the primary colors like red, blue, and yellow are equidistant from each other. And the secondary and tertiary colors are in between them. Color grading is also a form of art, and in any form of art naman, the artist would want the audience to be able to feel whatever the artist wants to convey, whatever emotion it is. And through the harmonies of colors, we'll be able to bring emotion into a certain art form. So, for example, we want it to be more gloomy, sad, dark. Then we choose colors that are cooler, like blue, gray, moss green, because these colors are associated with coldness, death, sadness. And on the other hand, if gusto naman natin ng mas happy tones, mas bright, mas cheerful, then we pick colors that are more warm, like yellow, red, orange. And by choosing certain colors to grade your sequence, you'll be able to invoke emotion from the audience. So dito sa example ko, tong building na to, I see it as grand, as royal, as magical. Kasi it's a big building, it's huge. It seems like it has a lot of history in it. So let's just dive right in. Let's go into Lightroom, and then let's upload a photo. I took this photo when I was in Russia. Ayun, and ang ganda pa ng colors, like blue, yung sky, sobrang blue, ang daming clouds. May hint of green, and then meron din orange from the bricks. And feel ko mas may accentuate pa natin yung colors. As in, pop, 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 pop talaga natin siya para mag-complement yung colors ng blue and yellow. So, of course, let's start off by fixing the exposure. So, let's increase the exposure a bit. I think this is a good exposure for the shot. And then I always go next to the curves function. So I always make sure na naka-S curve yung curves. Letter S. So click here and then pull this down and then pull this up para mataas yung contrast. Kasi here on this upper right part are the highlights, and then the lower left part are the shadows. So if you pull down the shadows here on the lower left part, magdo-darken yung mga darks, and then if you increase the highlights, mas maglalighten yung mga lights. So mas magkakaroon ng depth. So as you can see, malaki na agad yung pinagbago when we change the exposure pa lang and the S-curve of the curves function dito sa Lightroom. So this is the before. Yan, ang ganda. Maganda yung pagkakuha. And then this is the after. Boom. So, diba? Like, mas nag-brighten siya, mas mukhang bright, mukhang happy, mas mukhang may depth, and contrasted siya, and mas pleasing siya sa eyes. And then, moving on to my favorite part is playing with the colors. So, when you play with the colors, you really get to be an artist. Kasi, malalabas mo yung kung ano man yung nafe-feel mo at the moment. Parang, ano ba, happy ba ako? Bright and red and orangey colors ba? Or sad, medyo blue? Parang, syempre happy. Syempre gusto natin maging happy, di ba? Sino ba gusto maging sad? So, doon tayo sa happy. So, first, let's adjust the color temperature to make it a bit more yellow para mas mukha siyang warm. So, as you can see, medyo nag-warmish na siya kasi tumatagdag na yung yellows. We can also bump up the vibrance so we can really see the popping of the colors, and mas pleasing siya sa eyes kasi makikita mo yung pop ng colors. And then, meron function dito yung Lightroom, itong mix, where you can really control each color within the photo. So for example, I really want a specific hue of orange. So right now, the orange looks a bit kind of red, and I want it to be a bit more orange. So I'll move it a bit to the left para mas dark yung pagka-orange niya. And then I'll bump up the saturation para really ma-notice natin yung pagka-red ng building, yung brickiness ng building. Ayan, just by increasing the saturation of the red colors, you can already see a big difference. It's super pleasing to the eyes. It looks very inviting kasi sobrang red niya, diba? Parang, lapit kayo. And then what else we can do is play with the blues kasi sobrang laki ng pagka-blue ng sky. So, just click the color blue and then adjust the hue to maybe, since we want it to be I want it to be a bit fairy tale-y. So maybe pwede ko gawing tealish, ito, teal, and then bump up the saturation. So parang medyo naglalaban sila for your attention. The sky, and the building. Diba? Parang ako pansinin mo. But they're both beautiful naman. Diba? The orangeness of the building gives the photo so much warmth. And then nagko-contrast yung sky, which is very blue, very teal and cold. So super pleasing niya sa eyes. And another color that we can play with is the green sa taas para mag-pop rin siya ng color a bit. Taasin natin yung saturation ng green. And then other than that, we can also reduce the other colors like the purple para lang to make sure na mag-dominant talaga yung orange, blue, and green. And another thing we can do is increase the detail para mas crisp siya sa eyes. So we can increase the sharpening by a bit. There we go. And then last but not the least is we can just fix a bit of the cropping kasi as we can see, medyo nakabaloktot siya. Hindi naman siya leaning tower of Pisa. So, ayun, iayusin lang natin para diretso siya. Ay, nakatayo. And we can zoom in a bit so we can get rid of some of the audience sa baba. Audience? Yung mga ibang tourists sa baba. And yeah, here's the final photo. It's very easy lang naman to use Lightroom. You just have to really invoke emotion. Alam mo yun? Maganda rin if you understand the basics of color theory and the color wheel. Kasi with the color wheel, makikita mo talaga yung how colors harmonize with each other. So meron mga colors na monochromatic, meron mga complementary, meron analogous, which is yung magkakatabi silang tatlo. So there are a lot of different things that you can try. So yeah, if you want to learn more about Lightroom, click on this playlist right here, and it will lead you to all of my Lightroom tutorials. And yeah, see you in the next one.